The Garfield movie. And no, I'm not talking about the movie from 2004 starring Bill Murray. Though saying that, I would very much rather watch that. No, I'm talking about the latest movie starring Chris Pratt. Seriously, do they just put Chris Pratt in everything nowadays? Now, I don't hate Chris Pratt. He did a really good job in Jurassic World and in the MCU films. But Chris Pratt fits Garfield just as much as he fits Mario. But while that movie was at least entertaining, this movie was absolutely boring. But enough about that. What's the story? So the movie stars Garfield, played by Chris Pratt, enjoying life at home with his master John, and his little dog companion Odie. Which is weird because in the Bill Murray version, they hated each other's guts at first. Or at least Garfield hated Odie's guts anyway. But anyway, the two animals get captured by an evil Persian cat named Jinx, played by Hannah Waddingham. And it turns out to just be a scheme to bait Garfield's dad Vic, played by Sam L. Jackson, back to her. So Jinx needs a favor from Vic. She wants 5 years' worth of milk in exchange for his freedom. And Odie and Garfield are forced to join him. And Garfield isn't really getting along with his father, accusing him of abandoning him. Along the way, they come across a grouchy bull named Otto, played by Ving Rhames. He agrees to help them break into Lactose Farm in exchange for getting his beloved girlfriend back. While at the farm, they have to deal with the head of security named Marge, played by Cicely Strong. And Vic ends up abandoning Odie and Garfield. But it turns out that Jinx's real plan was to get Vic caught and sent to the pound, to suffer just like she did. Both Garfield and Odie get back home, but Garfield feels like something isn't right. After climbing a tree and seeing the claw marks that his dad left behind, he realizes how much his dad does indeed care about him, and he decides to rescue him. Since her last plan to get Vic to the pound failed, Jinx decides to throw him off of a bridge. But thanks to their teamwork, the father and son defeat the villain and send her back to the pound. And as for Otto, he ends up getting his girlfriend back, whose name is Ethel, by the way. Oh, and Jinx also had 2 dog minions who end up turning on her towards the end. This movie was just beyond boring, with a generic story, generic characters, and basically boring scenery. And Garfield in this movie doesn't feel like Garfield. It just feels like Chris Pratt being Chris Pratt. Also, one of the cats from the pound is played by Snoop Dogg. Ironic, isn't it? Overall, I give this movie a 3 out of 10. I do not recommend this film, and if you want a true Garfield movie, you're better off watching the 2004 film. At least Bill Murray actually tried to give Garfield some character.